Well, a lot of kids, they grow up and they learn to throw ball with their dad and learn anything else. My experiences with my dad have always been family, church, community, chamber. They're all one and the same. That's how he always put everything together. And I've learned that from as young as I was, when I can barely remember. We're young and Steamtown came to town. I remember going on the very first train ride for some of that stuff, and we'd go to every opening and every ribbon cutting. My dad never said, well, I have to go to work. It was always including us, including my brother and sister and I in that stuff. And I got to see some cool stuff. I got to see Steamtown. I learned to ski the year before Montage opened. I remember hiking the mountain before they put the lifts in, and I got to see where they make M1A1 tanks. Pretty cool for a kid to get to see where you make tanks and stuff like that. And he didn't just keep us on the side either. I learned social cues as a young kid. He'd put me forward. This is my son Tim, or I'd stick my hand at it. 6 years old. Hi, I'm Tim Burke, and learn that. And it's a business setting as well, and I recognize that from when I was very young. First and foremost, I love you, and secondly, I'm always looking forward to the next project that we do, whether that's around the house or adventure that we have, or professional project that I need you as my consultant on, and I always cherish your advice and appreciate it. I love you.
He always taught my brothers and me the value of hard work. When I was little, probably, I would say 5 or 6 even, he taught me how to shine shoes. And he had probably 4 or 5 pairs of shoes that he wore to work, and he would pay me $0.25 a shoe to shine them. And that was like my favorite thing to do. It was my favorite job. I would line them all up, and I would get all the different color polishes, and my favorite part was buffing them with that brush, like you get the rhythm going. But I was making my own money, and then I had spending money to use, to buy candy or go to the arcade or whatever. So it was like my shoe shining money. And starting when I was 14, I had a job, either full summers and then part-time usually throughout the school year, from when I was 14 until I graduated college. So it was always a given that I would be earning my own spending money. And even after I graduated college, I moved back home, and they said, you can have the summer off, and then after that I paid $200 a month rent to get used to paying a monthly either mortgage or rent check. And it really did teach me that, you've got to earn what you got to work for what you want, basically. Congratulations, Dad. We love you. Can't wait to see what adventures lie ahead. So, God help the neighbors. No.
One of the things I'm trying to learn from him is he made it look so easy being a dad, but now I'm a dad. And it's not easy. It's fun, and it's worth it, but it's not always easy. You do have to work hard, and it's something I learned from him. I really appreciate that. He would take us camping up to the Lackawanna State Park, and those are some of my favorite memories too. He would, you go out and collect the firewood, and he'd teach us how to build a proper campfire with the teepee and the kindling underneath, and you get that going, and tell ghost stories. He had the same ghost stories that his father told him about Three Toes the Bear and all kinds of just the same stories. And now I'm telling them to my kids, so that's fun. Or the next morning, of course, we'd have the fire going and the grill there, the little Coleman grill, and he'd let us all practice flipping pancakes, and half of them would go on the ground, but they all tasted good. Sometimes I feel like I can't thank you enough for all the things you've taught me and you've given us. And I really want to teach my kids as well as you taught us. I love you so much. Congratulations.
Austin, I'd like to thank you so much for making me feel like a part of the family, like your own daughter. I cherish all the advice that you've given me and all the memories that we've made together. And I really greatly admire all of your accomplishments throughout the year, through the years of service at the Chamber, and I love you very much.
And our family has always been a Chamber family. The kids were tiny when he got the job, and so we would dress them up. We would take them to the Philharmonic. We would take them to the community concerts and Broadway theater leagues. And they were asleep by the time the curtain went down and the lights went out, but they they were there. Austin always kept his family very close. One of the chamber prerogatives is to send their executives to Institute every year at the University of Delaware. And it was a nice week. Every week they had to go, every year they had to go for a week, and they studied and they became certified in Chamber Institute. Austin took all of us. We stayed in a dorm with 3 little kids, and all the other chamber executives across the nation would look at us scrambling in an elevator, pushing buttons, playing at the university place. We just knew, our kids knew what it was to grow up with the chamber. When Tim was little, he asked his dad one day if he lost his job because his picture wasn't in the paper for a couple weeks. Austin would come home and tell me about a project, and I would be excited about it for him. And 3 or 4 weeks later, I'd say, gee, is that company coming? And finally he said, Marianne, this takes months, this takes years sometimes before a company will decide. Wow. I worked in an operating room. At the end of the day, we were finished. Who has that long view? Who can see that far ahead? That's Austin's strength. He's focused, he stays optimistic, and he always tries. His whole goal was to bring a better life for people in this area. That's what he said he wanted to do, and I'm very, very proud of him. And I really, honey, I wish you all the luck in the world, good health and happiness in your retirement. I love you.
Congratulations, love. And I think we can do a lot more paintings together. Goodbye. Papa, I love you. Papa, maybe we could go fishing a lot more now that you're retiring. I love you.
Congratulations, Dad. We love you.